auspicious occasion of Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Last few days we have been discussing in the morning Bhagavatam classes several pastimes of Krishna, and today we will try to discuss Brahma Vimohana Lila. How Lord Brahma was once bewildered by Krishna in Vrindavan. After Krishna killed this great serpent demon, python demon, Aghasur, there was a great commotion and excitement in the upper planets. All the devatas were discussing about this incident and they were glorifying Krishna, they were singing, they were praising Krishna so much, and tumultuous sounds made by all these great devatas went up to Brahmaloka. And Lord Brahma became surprised. How come devatas are so excited? The devatas are discussing about a small child in Vrindavan who killed a powerful demon. How could he kill a small village boy? Is it true? Why the devatas are getting excited? Let me just go and personally see. So, Lord Brahma descends from the Brahmaloka on his pure white swan carrier and he comes to Vrindavan. By this time, Krishna is sitting with all the gopas and he was having his lunch. Srila Prabhupada says that generally these gopa boys, they go to the forest and they become so absorbed in playing that they don't realize that it's lunchtime. Somehow by the arrangement of Yogamaya, Krishna's internal potency, some demon comes and interrupts their play around lunchtime. And Krishna kills the demon, and after killing the demon they remember, we have to take lunch now. So Krishna, by the time Brahma came, so Krishna along with all the Gopa boys, they were about to take lunch. They were taking lunch. So after killing Aghasur and after reviving all these boys, Krishna showed the sandy beach of Yamuna river. And he told these cowhead boys, my dear friends, so this sandy beach is very soft and we also have the opportunity of experiencing this sweet fragrance coming from all the desired trees of Vrindavan. Birds are chirping so nicely and the gentle breezes are carrying the aroma of the lotuses which are growing in Yamuna river. And this is such an enchanting place for us to sit and have some prasad. Our mothers have packed lunch bags with so much of love, with the best possible items. So let's have lunch. That was the proposal of Krishna. And all the Gopa boys naturally agreed to that proposal. They all came and they formed circles, concentric circles. Hundreds and thousands of boys sat in circles and they made some lotus leaves or stones as the plates, as their plates, and they made Krishna sit in the center of all these concentric circles. And Krishna is eating along with the boys. And whenever Krishna tastes some beautiful item, delicious item packed by Mother Yashoda, Krishna would take it from his mouth and put it directly into the mouth of his friends. Oh, this is very nice, please accept it. And when the Gopa boys also, when they taste some delicious item in their lunch, they take that item from their mouth and they directly put in Krishna's mouth. They don't follow all the rules and regulations of bhoga offering to the deities. They don't feel the need to chant mantras, ring bells, close the curtains, but they just directly take from their mouth and put in Krishna's mouth. That's how Krishna was enjoying his lunchtime along with all the boys. And all the boys, every day, they keep Krishna in the center of their prasadam circles also. the community or a group of devotees that keeps Krishna in the center of their lives receives all reciprocation and protection from Krishna in all ways. Always. Always in all ways. So that is the power of keeping Krishna in the center. Oftentimes the conditioned souls in this material world, they keep themselves as the center of their lives. They imagine life to be a movie and they consider themselves the central characters or the heroes of the movie and everyone else is side character. That's how self-centric a conditioned soul is. That's how self-absorbed a conditioned soul is. But in contrast to the mentality of conditioned souls, the residents of Vrindavan, the Vrajavasis, they consider Krishna as the center of their lives. Even physically also they keep Krishna in the center. In their prasadam circles and they feed Krishna, they are fed by Krishna, they glance at Krishna, they are showered upon themselves by Krishna's glances. This is Vrindavan, to keep Krishna in the center. And meanwhile Brahma came on his swan carrier and from there he is watching this whole loving scene on the bank of Yamuna, while Krishna and the Gopas are feeding each other. Brahma was surprised. Oh, is this little boy, dark complexioned little child, hardly 6-year-old boy, is he the one who killed Aghasur? And am I supposed to believe it? Doesn't look so. If he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why is he sitting like this and having some lunch with all these cowhead boys? They are Vaishyas. They are tending cows in the pasturing grounds. They look so simple, so innocent. The difference between Vrindavan and other opulent abodes of the Lord like Mathura and Dwaraka and Vaikuntha is that Vrindavan is characterized by sweetness, innocence and simplicity, while the other dhams are characterized by grandeur and majesty. And many of these devatas get attracted to the majesty and grandeur more than innocence and simplicity and sweetness. And in Vrindavan, Krishna is very sweet, very innocent, very simple, simple in his attire also. He doesn't even wear shoes. Vrindavanam saki bhuvo vitanoti kirtim yaddevaki sutapadam bhujalabdha lakshmi. So Vrindavan is such an abode, spiritual abode, where the land is imprinted with the footprints of Krishna. And this land of Vrindavan is expanding the glories of this entire earth planet. Yet Devaki Sutapadambuja Labdha Lakshmi, this abode of Vrindavan, this land of Vrindavan has obtained the divine footprints of Krishna. They are the real ornaments of this Vrindavan land. And that Vrindavan land, which is ornamented by Krishna's footprints, itself became an ornament for the entire earth planet. The best spot in the universe is Vrindavan Dham. But Brahma, at least for a moment, he could not appreciate this. He wanted to test Krishna. Just like a firefly wants to test the temperature of sun, even Brahma also wanted to test the power of Krishna. He forgot that he is the one, Brahma is the one who went on the shore of the milk ocean along with Mother Earth and all the devatas and prayed for the appearance of Krishna. He went and chanted Purusha Sukta prayers along with other devatas. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaihi Stavaihi. Brahma and all the other devatas, they offer transcendental praises. Stunvanti Divyaihi Stavaihi, in their transcendental prayers describing the glories of the Lord. They offer prayers and present their appeals and requests in front of the Lord. And in reciprocation with those requests, the Lord appears on this planet. But Brahma forgot that. So we should never be overconfident about our own powers and experiences. Maya is so powerful that it can bewilder even the most advanced and experienced devotees also. That's why the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Vadanti Vishwam Kavayasmanashwaram Pashyanti Chadhyatma Vido Vipaschitaham Tathapi Muhyanti Tavajamayaya Suvismitam Krityamajam Natosmitam. Vadanti Vishwam Kavayasmanashwaram. Although there are some very advanced souls and scholars and philosophers who are convinced about the temporary nature of this material world and who can convince others also by their preaching, even such great people also get bewildered by Maya. Tathapi muhyanti tava aja mayaya. If Brahma could be bewildered, what about struggling sadhakas? But Brahma is bewildered thoroughly. So, Brahma, out of his bewilderment, he wanted to test Krishna. As the Gopa boys are sitting in concentric circles and having their lunch, they allowed their little calves to eat soft grasses on the bank of Yamuna nearby. But as they are absorbing their lunch and having some loving exchanges, suddenly they noticed that all these calves are missing. They thought that these calves wandered away deep into the forest and they wanted to bring the calves back. They became very anxious. Then Krishna said, my dear friends, don't become anxious. Please, don't worry about the calves and don't interrupt your lunch. Let me get up, let me go and find the calves and you continue to have your prasad. So, Krishna takes the anxieties of his devotees. When devotees become very anxious, Krishna considers that it is his responsibility to relieve them from all anxieties while they continue to stay comfortably. So Krishna told the Gopa boys, please don't interrupt your lunch, you have your lunch. By this time Krishna did not finish his lunch. His curd rice and the pickles are still there in his hands. Still. Krishna interrupted his own lunch and requested the Gopa boys not to interrupt their lunch. He got up, went out to search for the calves. And to bewilder Brahma even more, Brahma is already bewildered. He could not believe that Krishna is the killer of Aghasura demon. He could not believe the sweet loving exchanges happening between Krishna and the Gopa boys. This is bewilderment. You know what is bewilderment? Bewilderment is when we can't believe that Krishna can have such sweet loving exchanges with his devotees. When we don't believe, when we don't trust that Krishna can be so simple and can be so accessible towards all his devotees that he can personally have loving exchanges with his devotees, that is bewilderment. Many times when we think, oh, God is so great, of course God is great, definitely. But he is so sweet also. He is very accessible to his devotees also. He can be so accessible to his devotees that he makes his devotees forget that he is God and immerses them in a very sweet, loving relationship with him. And he reciprocates with them accordingly. And if you don't believe that Krishna can do this to his devotees, then we are bewildered. Second, if we think that Krishna cannot destroy the demons, destroy all the enemies, he does not have the power to destroy my anarthas, then we are bewildered. Right? Brahma could not believe two things. In Brahma Vimohana Lila, Brahma could not accept that Krishna could kill Aghasur. He could not believe or he could not appreciate that Krishna could have, the Supreme Personality of Godhead could have such deep, intense, intimate, loving exchanges with his little cowhead boyfriends. Two things. Sometimes sadhakas also get bewildered in a similar way. We may not believe that Krishna has the power to destroy all our enemies or anarthas. We may not believe that Krishna could have such intimate, loving exchanges with his devotees. That is bewilderment. However powerful our anarthas may be, Krishna can destroy those anarthas. However intense uh, our shortcomings may be, Krishna can just dispel all of them. Krishna's name is sufficient. Krishna has invested all his powers in his names so that the names can destroy even the most powerful anarthas within us. Shatruchhedaika mantram sakalam upanishadvakya sampujya mantram. Shatruchhedaika mantram, this Krishna mantra can destroy all the anarthas, all the shatrus, all the enemies who exist within our own hearts in the form of so many bad qualities, anarthas, right? So Brahma could not believe and he wanted to test Krishna. And he just had stolen these little calves. And Krishna told these boys that, you don't worry, you continue taking prasad, let me go and search for the calves. To bewilder Brahma even more, Krishna is searching for the calves everywhere. And he's not finding them. He's getting confused. He's going deep into the forest. Then Brahma thought that yes, it's confirmed, he is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes the activities of a great soul may be a little confusing, and to add to further confusion, they may act in more bewildering ways sometimes. But we should not forget all their glories. Krishna is so glorious, but now he is apparently confused. It looks like it is Krishna Vimohana Lila more than Brahma Vimohana Lila, because Krishna is confused. Krishna is feeling like, where have my calves gone? He's searching the entire forest. What will I tell my friends? My friends are waiting for the calves. I thought they will think that I will come back immediately and join them for lunch. But looks like I have to spend a lot of time exploring the whole forest to find these calves. And they're waiting for me. So Krishna became anxious externally. And Brahma is thinking that yes, Krishna is becoming anxious. Means Krishna is the supreme, not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Good. Let me test Krishna even more. How? Let me go to the bank of Ganga, bank of Yamuna, and steal all these boys also. Let's see Krishna's reaction. So Brahma had stolen all the boys also, cowherd boys. Then Krishna searched for the calves everywhere in the forest. He could not find the calves, and he wanted to give this report with great anxiety to all the Gopa boys. When he came there, he could not find his friends also. Krishna is even more bewildered, apparently. And Brahma is watching all this, double bewilderment of Krishna. Let's see what this boy does. I have confused him. All the devatas are praising him unnecessarily, that he is the one who is the killer of Aghasur. Let me see. So Brahma thought that he has successfully stolen the boys and the calves, and he disappeared from the scene. Now Krishna stopped acting in a bewildering way, because he is completely aware that it was Brahma who had stolen all the cowherd boys and the calves. Actually speaking, there is another bewilderment, another facet of Brahma's bewilderment here. Brahma was bewildered initially to see Krishna's loving exchanges with the boys. And even before that, Brahma was bewildered to hear all the praises of all the devatas. And later Brahma was bewildered by thinking that I can bewilder Krishna by stealing the calves. Again Brahma was bewildered by thinking that let me confuse Krishna even more, let me bewilder Krishna even more by stealing the boys also. But in reality, Brahma could not steal the boys. Brahma could not steal the calves. Krishna has hidden the original boys and original calves and manifested some illusory boys and calves. Just like Ravana, a demon, could not steal original Sita, he could only steal an illusory Sita, Maya Sita. Similarly, Brahma, a Devata, he could only steal some illusory boys and calves and not the original boys and calves. Whether one is a Devata or a demon, no one can steal Krishna's property. They may think that they have stolen, but they only steal something illusory. No one can possess Krishna's wealth. whatever wealth they possess is only illusory wealth. Maya, Maya Sampada. Yasyantam na vidursura suragana devaya tasmai namaha. Yasya antam. There is no end to the opulences of Krishna. There is no end to the powers of Krishna. And some of these powers can bewilder devotees also, demons also. Right? Yasyantam na vidur sura asura ganaha devaya tasmai namaha. You may be sura or you may be asura. You may be very, very experienced in life or you may be neophyte. Never think that we can outsmart Krishna in his intelligence. So, Brahma thought that he has bewildered Krishna, and with full bewilderment, with 4 or 5 doses of bewilderment, so Brahma went back to Brahmaloka. Meanwhile, Krishna manifested his real opulence. So far, he manifested an opulence of bewildering Brahma by acting as if he is confused and by manifesting illusory boys and calves. Now, he manifested another set of divine boys and calves. He expanded himself into the forms of all these cowhead boys and little calves and exactly imitated their bodily features, their mannerisms, their physical growth, and he also expanded in the form of their dresses, ornaments, their flutes, their vetras, their sticks. And he also imitated their age, their complexion, their general habits, their tastes. He exactly replicated all these boys. In the Brahma Vimohana Lila, we see there are 3 sets of boys and calves. The first set is the original cowhead boys and original calves. Second set is the illusory boys and calves manifested by Krishna and stolen by Brahma. Third set is Krishna's expansions, the boys and calves which are actually Krishna's expansions. 3 sets. So, what happened to the original set? The illusory set? Parking. Prabhu does parking seva. So they are parked invisibly somewhere by Krishna. They are hidden by Krishna. Where? I don't know. But Brahma thought that I have stolen somebody. So Krishna expanded himself into hundreds and thousands of boys and calves, and he, accompanied by his own expansions, entered this forest of Vrindavan at the time of sunset. Krishna was thinking that, let me take this opportunity to please all the motherly gopis of Vrindavan, all the cows of Vrindavan. Now I need to share another related story, flashback here. Since Krishna's birth, all the motherly gopis of Vrindavan would spend a lot of their time in Nanda Maharaja's home, in Yashoda Mata's home, not in their homes. They are constantly accompanying Mother Yashoda and assisting Mother Yashoda in serving Krishna. And within their hearts they had deep appreciation for Mother Yashoda, who Yashoda Mata is feeding Krishna, her milk. Yashoda Mata is dressing Krishna, decorating Krishna, bathing Krishna, making Krishna sleep, waking up Krishna, making butter for Krishna. Whatever a mother does for a child, Yashoda Mata is doing everything. Of course, we are getting to assist Mother Yashoda, but still, if we ourselves get an opportunity to personally do all these services to Krishna as mothers, we would be even more fortunate. Of course, these motherly gopis of Vrindavan never had envy towards Mother Yashoda. When we envy another devotee for his or her good fortune, Krishna becomes very displeased. But when we genuinely appreciate another devotee for his or good fortune, then Krishna will bestow a similar good fortune to us also. Because all these wonderful motherly gopis of Vrindavan, Vatsalya gopis of Vrindavan, had deep appreciation for Yashoda Mata and sincerely desired to render service to Krishna like Mother Yashoda does. Krishna noted this desire. Oh, let me take this opportunity to please all these mothers. Brahma, although he was bewildered, and that's how he wanted to test Krishna. He wanted to steal the gopas and calves of Krishna. Still, Brahma did some service only. What was the service? He gave an opportunity to Krishna to please the gopis of Vrindavan. Of course, in one sense, Brahma did a disservice by separating Krishna and the gopas. But from another perspective, another angle, Brahma also facilitated Krishna's loving exchanges with all the motherly gopis of Vrindavan. Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan are of three phases. First is Kaumara Lila, second is Pauganda Lila, third is Kaishora Lila. Kaumara Lila is from Krishna's birth till he becomes 3 years 4 months old. That phase is called Kaumara Lila. Actually, up to 5 years age, it is Kaumara Lila only. But Krishna's growth, bodily growth and intellectual growth are so much that within 3 years 4 months, Krishna finishes his Kaumara Lila, finishes his Balya Lila. Generally, Pauganda age is 5 to 10, 6 to 10. But by the time Krishna becomes 6 years 8 months old, he completes his Pauganda Lila. Means when Krishna is 6 years 8 months old, he looks like a 10-year-old boy. When Krishna is 3 years 4 months old, he looks like a 5-year-old boy. And when Krishna is 10 years old, he looks like a 15-year-old boy. That means he completes his Kaishora Lila by the time he reaches 10, age 10. Means at the age of 10, he looks like a 15-year-old boy. Then 16 onwards, it's Yavana, and from there Krishna doesn't grow only. Krishna doesn't grow beyond that. At the max, as Prabhupada says in one purport, he looks like a 20 or maximum 25-year-old man. Even if he's 100 years old or 120 years old, there is no growth after that. But till that Yavana stage, Krishna grows faster. So coming back to our Lila, in the first phase of Krishna's Leelas, Kaumara Lila or Balya Lila, in the first 3 years, 4 months of Krishna's manifest pastimes, these pastimes of Krishna are more accessible to and relishable by the motherly gopis of Vrindavan. But Krishna's Pauganda Lila is more relishable by and accessible to the gopas. And Krishna's Kaishora Lila is more accessible to and relishable by the younger gopis, Madhurya gopis. In short, Balya Lila is primarily for the Vatsalya gopis, Vatsalya devotees, and Pauganda Lila is for Sakya Bhaktas, and Kaishora Lila is for Madhurya devotees. Of course, in all the phases of Krishna's life, devotees of all rasas try to connect with him and serve him, but Kaumara Lila, Vatsalya rasa is more prominent. Vatsalya pastimes are more prominent. Pauganda Lila, Sakya pastimes are more prominent. Kaishora Lila, Madhurya pastimes are more prominent. Now in this Pauganda Lila, Brahma facilitated for some Vatsalya pastimes. Have you noticed this in the Brahma Vimohana Lila? So Krishna is having his Pauganda pastimes nicely, where Sakya rasa is more prominent. But all these Sakya Bhaktas of Krishna, they went into some hibernate mode or parking mode for an year. In this 1 year, Vatsalya rasa became more prominent. So Krishna is having so much of intense loving exchanges with the motherly gopis and fatherly gopas of Vrindavan. Vatsalya rasa became revived even more. So Krishna's expansions as this cowhead boys and calves entered into different goshalas and different homes of the gopas and gopis, and they had such sweet loving exchanges with their parents. All of them are Krishna's only. That day, all these gopis and gopas, fatherly gopas and motherly gopis felt a special kind of attraction towards their children, because their child is not their child is Krishna himself. And in this 1 year, oh my God, in this 1 year, all the gopas and gopis and cows experienced very, very intense love towards their children. They have never experienced it like that before. or after. But in this 1 year, their motherly affection, their fatherly affection for their own children increased so much, hundreds and thousands and millions of times. Because it's Krishna there. Because in the purest state of consciousness, every single living being loves Krishna more than anyone else or anything else. But only in impure state of consciousness, our love is directed towards many other unnecessary things in this world. In the purest state of consciousness, every single soul has love for Krishna more than anyone else. And in the purest state of consciousness, the soul can experience Krishna's love more than anything else. We love Krishna the most when our consciousness is pure. Whether our consciousness is pure or not, Krishna loves us more than anyone else can ever love us. So Vrajavasis, their consciousness is completely pure. They don't even know that Krishna is God. They can't acknowledge Krishna's godhood. They are not consciously aware that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. The gopis are not even aware. The gopas are not even aware. They always think that Krishna is our friend. Krishna is our son. Krishna is our lover. They don't acknowledge Krishna's God. So the Vrajavasis don't know that Krishna is God, but they love Krishna more than anyone else can ever love God. Not knowing that Krishna is God, they are having deep love of God. Krishna Prema. So love for Krishna does not depend on our knowledge of Krishna's Godhood also, in the purest state of consciousness. It is so natural. As Prahlad Maharaj says in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, just as iron particles are naturally attracted towards magnet, every single soul, when the consciousness of the soul is pure, is naturally attracted to Krishna. In that attraction, in that natural attraction towards Krishna, there is no knowledge, there is no gnana, there is no understanding of Krishna's godhood, Krishna's opulences. Some people may know, but even without that complete knowledge of Krishna's godhood, Krishna's powers, Krishna's opulences, a soul intensely loves Krishna. That prema is not dependent on gnana. But in conditioned existence, some gnana is required to eventually develop that prema. But this gnana should never overpower prema. And gnana is incomplete if it doesn't lead to prema. It doesn't culminate in prema. So, Krishna prema is so natural for the soul, and because the Vrajavasis are so exalted devotees of Krishna, they are in the purest state of consciousness, they love Krishna more than anyone else, and their love for Krishna, which is already infinite, started increasing more and more and more and more during this 1 year. So 1 year passed like that. And during this 1 year, all the cows of Vrindavan, they have given birth to some little baby calves. But they already had the older calf, which is Krishna's expansion. Although these cows had younger baby calves, newborn baby calves, these cows are giving more attention towards the older calves, which are Krishna's expansions, than the newly born baby calves. Because these are Krishna's expansions, these are Krishna's, but they are not Krishna. Of course, a devotee loves another devotee also. But the love between two devotees, the affection or loving bonding between two devotees is dependent on their love for Krishna. Keeping Krishna aside, whatever love and affection we have between each other is on a material plane, is on a bodily plane. Only when we bring Krishna between us, in our loving exchanges, in our loving friendships or relationships, only if we keep those friendly exchanges Krishna-centered, then they are called spiritual friendships. If Krishna is kept aside, and somebody is saying, I love you so much, I have so much affection for you, and you are thinking about so much, all this vipralambha, sambhoga on a bodily plane will only plunge us deeper into material attachments. That's what Kunti Mata said. Atha vishvesha vishvatman vishvamurte svakeshu me sneha pashami mamchindi dridham pandushu vrishnishu. Oh Krishna, I have a deep bond, sneha pasham. I have a deep bond of affection with Pandavas and Vrishnis. Please cut this knot. Sneha pasham imam chindi. Please cut this loving bond of affection that I have with Pandavas and Vrishnis. Acharyas explains, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, first canto, 8th chapter purports, that Kunti Maharani is not literally praying for destroying the affectionate bonds she had with Vrishnis and Pandavas. She had two kinds of relationship with them. One is the skin relation, second is the soul relation. She has a relationship between them with body in the center as they are her family members. This is my husband's family and this is my parents' family. So that way there is a bodily relation. When Kunti Maharani is praying, she is praying to Krishna to cut this bodily attachment. But she has a soul relation also. Pandavas are great devotees of Krishna. Vrishnis are also great devotees of Krishna. Krishna, let me love these Pandavas and Vrishnis because they are your devotees, not because they are my family members. Let my love and affection and friendship and relation that I have with them should be with you in the center. Let it be spiritual relation, not material relation. Many times relations in this material world are based on either physical, material body or material, mental emotions or some kind of egocentric relations where somebody pampers our ego, they become very dear to us. And we pamper their ego, they become dear to us. Not that way. The material subtle body and the material gross body, if these bodies become the center of a relationship, that relationship is material relation, it doesn't satisfy the soul. How can the soul be satisfied in a relationship with another individual? Only when Krishna is brought in the center. So all the relationships amongst the Vrajavasis and all the devotees of Krishna are with Krishna in the center. In the beginning of the session we discussed how all the Gopa boys are friendly and connected to each other. They love each other, they care for each other with Krishna in the center. Even while taking prasad also they form concentric circles and they keep Krishna in the center. Krishna is the center of their friendships. Krishna is the center of their loving relationships. And here in this 1 year, the loving bonds between all the Vatsalya Gopas and Gopis with their children increased. So, almost 1 year passed. 4 or 5 days of 1 year are left. So one day, when Krishna and Balaram and all the Gopas and the cow and the calves went to the forest, they came near Govardhan Hill. On top of Govardhan Hill, the older cowherd men were taking care of the cows, grown-up cows. And at the foothills of Govardhan Hill, the younger Gopa boys, including Krishna and Balaram, were taking care of the little calves. Suddenly, these cows on the top of Govardhan Hill saw these young calves, who are Krishna's expansions. So they started running so fast towards their kids, towards their calves. And all the cowherd men who were taking care of these cows, they thought, why are the cows running away? They started running behind the cows. So all of them just came at the foothills of Govardhan and the cows started licking the bodies of the calves and started feeding their milk. And meanwhile, the elderly Gopas reached there and they saw their own children, their own sons. And they started embracing their sons. They started bathing their sons with the affectionate tears coming from their eyes. They started smelling their heads. That's how there is an intense display of parental affection from the cowherd men's side and also from the side of all the cows. And Balaramji was standing there and noticing, Krishna, I never saw such an intense display of parental affection of all these elderly Gopas and cows upon their children. I understand they love their children, but they love you more than their children. They love their children because they are your devotees, they are your friends. But looks like they are loving their children so much, even in your presence. It is not possible. In your presence, how can somebody divert their love and attention towards their own children? Krishna, tell me the truth. Are they your expansions? Have you taken their forms? Looks like they are displaying their affection towards you, not their children. Because this much affection they display only towards you, not to their children. So please, tell me the truth. Then Krishna said, Balaram, sorry for that. I have hidden a truth for almost 1 year in front of you. And he told entire Brahma Vimohana Lila. We discussed it already. Flashback. Then Balaramji, till now, Balaramji could not even figure it out. Balaramji could not figure out that all the calves that I was standing all these days are Krishna's expansions. All the boys that I am playing with all these days, they are Krishna's expansions. He could not figure out. This is Balarama Vimohana Lila also, in one sense. Not only Brahma Vimohana Lila. So many bewilderments within one bewilderment, under the umbrella of Brahma's bewilderment. So Krishna could manage to keep Balaram unaware of this Brahma's activity for almost 1 year. Who is Balaram? He's the direct expansion of Krishna, first expansion of Krishna. In power, Balaram is as good as Krishna. There's no difference. The difference is only in the terms of physical body, bodily complexion, and even mood. Balaram is in the mode of servant, supreme personality of servitor Godhead, and Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead. But as far as powers are concerned, both have similar powers, similar opulences. But Balaramji could not even figure it out by Krishna's will. Balaramji serves Krishna exactly in accordance with Krishna's will. Whatever Krishna expects him to do, Balaramji does. Krishna's expectation is, let my elder brother Balaram not even be aware of Brahma's act for 1 year. He is not aware. Now he is aware. So, meanwhile, Lord Brahma came there. For Brahma, it is only one moment. Only one moment. He knows he is playing with someone who is very powerful. I can't delay for a longer time. But that one moment for Brahma is like 1 year. So Brahma had stolen the calves and the boys went away and he came back within a moment. By the time 1 year passed. But when Brahma came, he has seen all the boys that he had stolen right next to Krishna playing as usual. He has seen all the calves that he had stolen playing with Krishna as usual. He was completely bewildered, more bewilderment now. Only thing is, so far Brahma was bewildered, but he did not realize that he was bewildered. But now he realized that he is bewildered. As soon as the thought of distraction from devotion to Krishna enters our mind, that we are bewildered. But to realize it, it may take some time. As soon as we focus on something which is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness, we are bewildered. But to realize that I am becoming distracted, it takes some time. Ajamil fell down. As soon as he saw that lady embracing that drunkard man, he fell down and he got distracted there itself. But he realized that he fell down only when he heard the conversation between Vishnudutas and Yamadutas. Sometimes it takes some time. Whole world may realize also, but we may not realize. So Brahma was bewildered 1 year back only, but he realized that he is bewildered now, after 1 year. Indra was bewildered 1 week back only, but he realized that he was bewildered after 1 week, when he failed to destroy Vrindavan by creating this rainfall. So Brahma, he saw that all the boys and calves are playing as usual. And to bewilder Brahma even more, all these little boys and all the calves manifested themselves into 4-handed Vishnu Murtis. Vishnus manifested in front of Brahma. Brahma became even more bewildered. The bewilderment is increasing, exponentially increasing moment by moment. So then Brahma finally understood, oh, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the source of all these Vishnus. As Bhishma says in the first canto of Bhagavatam, in front of Yudhishthira Maharaj, Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman. Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat, this personality Krishna, this blue boy standing in front of you is Bhagavan Sakshat. He is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Adyo Narayana Puman. He is the Adi of Narayana. He is the origin of Narayana. He is the origin of millions of Narayanas. And that Brahma is seeing now. Earlier he could not understand. When Krishna is just manifesting, his cowhead boy form, 6-year-old boy, taking curd rice with pickles, and taking the remnants of his friends, jhota of his friends, and feeding them his jhota. Brahma was completely bewildered. Therefore, it is important to highlight the majestic aspect of Krishna many times to the people of this world. If we directly jump into sweetness of Krishna, if we directly talk about intimate Leelas of Krishna, Vrindavan pastimes, in front of people who are not fully qualified, who did not fully develop that faith, we could be bewildered. We may take Krishna as ordinary. When Brahma saw Krishna having lunch on the bank of Yamuna with the cowhead boys, Brahma could not believe that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When did he believe? Only when all these Vishnu Murtis, hundreds and thousands of Vishnu Murtis manifested and they all merged into Krishna's body, then Brahma believed, oh, he is Adyo Narayana Puman. To make a conditioned soul a devotee, sometimes or many times or most of the times, we have to highlight the majestic aspect of Krishna, not the sweet aspect of Krishna. First, let there be reverence invoked in their heart. Then love will be invoked. Then intimacy will be invoked. If we directly get into intimacy, then without reverence, without sufficient reverence, we may take it for granted, we may become sahajiyas also. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is presented in a very, very balanced way. Srimad Bhagavatam is not just a narration of, even 10th canto of Bhagavatam is not just a narration of Krishna's loving, sweet pastimes, intimate pastimes with the Rajavasis. Bhagavatam is also filled with so many philosophical descriptions. Even in the love letter written by Krishna to the gopis of Vrindavan, carried by Uddhava, what could be a more intimate, confidential exchange than this? Krishna is writing a love letter to the gopis and Uddhava is carrying them, the most confidential servant of Krishna. Even in that letter also, there is a lot of philosophy, not just some intimate exchanges. Krishna is not saying, oh gopis, I am missing you, I love you so much, I know you love me so much, we'll come, we'll have some pastimes, we'll do Ras Lila once again, we'll dance together. This time I will not run away from you. You don't have to sing Gopi Gita, I'll be there with you, continuously dancing for one Brahma's night. He's not writing all this stuff. He's writing so much philosophy there. So, of course, the internal, secondary meanings of this letter reveal that intimate dealings between Krishna and the gopis. But the external meaning, what is visible to a reader, is very philosophical. Unless we balance this intimate pastimes of Krishna with proper philosophical discussion, there is every possibility that we become sahajiyas, we may take Krishna's pastimes also cheaply. That's why even in Damodara Ashtakam, that's describing Krishna's intimate, loving exchange with his mother, Yashoda. Satyavartamani begins, Namami Ishwaram Satchidananda Rupam. Namami Ishwaram. Where is Ishvara? Here is a little boy, 2-3-year-old boy, stealing butter, getting chastised and scolded by his mother and bound by his mother with a rope, and is crying, and you are calling him Ishvara? Yeah, I have to call him Ishvara right in the beginning. Because you people who are singing the song may forget that he is Ishvara. You may take him cheaply. You may take him ordinary. So, highlighting the reverential aspect is important. At least for those people who have not completely evolved in their consciousness. Right? So, when Brahma saw Krishna's intimate exchanges with the Gopa boys, he could not believe that Krishna is God or Godhead. But only when Krishna manifested all his Vishnumurti expansions, his vibhutis, his opulences, then Brahma believed he is the Lord. So Brahma came and started offering obeisances. With his 8 eyes, 4 pairs of eyes in 4 heads, with his 8 eyes, he is crying. He is shedding profuse amount of tears. He offered this prayer. He fell at the feet of Krishna. He was, in one sense, bathing the lotus feet of Krishna with tears from his 8 eyes. He was feeling so repentant, so guilty, so bad, so ashamed, completely humiliated. So in that mood, he fell at the lotus feet of Krishna. What is the power of Krishna's lotus feet? Sri Krishna Anghriyugam Sakrit Shritigatam Sarvanya Trishna Haram Dhyatam Yadvipadam Vilopa Nipunam Satsampadam Dayakam Drishtam Charutaya Chamatkritipadam Sarvendriya Hladakam Sprishtam Yatklamahandri Nirvritakaram Tanme Kriyat Kankshitam. Sri Krishnangri Yugam, the 2 divine lotus feet of Krishna, Sakrit Shritigatam. Even if you hear about Krishna's lotus feet, the glories of Krishna's lotus feet even once, you know what happens? Sarvanya Trishna Haram. Anya Trishna means our hankerings, our excitements, our interests which are disconnected to Krishna or unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Sarvanya Trishna Haram. All our hankerings are completely vanquished just by hearing about Krishna's lotus feet. You remember, there is a quiz at the end. First is Sri Krishnangri Yugam Sakrit Shritigatam. When you hear about Krishna's lotus feet, our hankerings are destroyed. First. Second, what happens when you remember Krishna's lotus feet? Dhyatam Yadvipadam Vilopa Nipunam Satsampadam Dayakam. When you remember Krishna's lotus feet, Dhyatam Yadvipadam Vilopa Nipunam. The lotus feet of Krishna have the great expertise to destroy all our vipadas, all our distresses, all our miseries, and bestow opulences. Sat Sampadam Dayakam. Sampada is not just wealth. This is Sat Sampada, the best wealth. The real wealth is love of God. So when you remember Krishna's lotus feet, we will be bestowed with love for Krishna, love of God. What is the effect of hearing about Krishna's lotus feet? Sarvanya Trishna Haram. Material hankerings will be vanquished. What is the effect of remembering Krishna's lotus feet? Sat Sampadam Dayakam. We will be bestowed with the real wealth of Krishna Prema. Drishtam Charutaya Chamatkritipadam Sarvendriya Hladakam. What is the effect of seeing Krishna's lotus feet? We discussed about hearing about Krishna's lotus feet and remembering Krishna's lotus feet. What is the effect of seeing the lotus feet of Vrindavan Bihari? Drishtam Charutaya Chamatkritipadam Sarvendriya Hladakam. All our senses are, they really experience bliss. Sarva Indriya Ahladakaram. Means all the senses become completely ecstatic. When you see something, only eyes experience the joy. But when you see Krishna's lotus feet, ears also experience the joy, nose also experience the joy, all the senses become joyful. Sarvendriya Hladakam. What about touching? We are intensifying. First hearing about Krishna's lotus feet, then remembering, then seeing, then finally touching. Sprishtam Yatklaman Hantri Nirvritakaram Tanme Kriyat Kankshitam. When you touch the lotus feet of Krishna, at least those who are worshipping the deities have some opportunity to touch the lotus feet of Krishna. Sprishtam Yat Klama Hantri Nirvritakaram. Klama Hantri means all the shortcomings are completely vanquished. Nirvritikaram means an attachment to Krishna's lotus feet is increased. Our devotion increases, our attachment to Krishna increases, and our attachment to Maya decreases. That is the power of touching Krishna's lotus feet. Therefore, let us desire to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. as Brahma did. Brahma went and fell at Krishna's lotus feet and started offering prayers. This is one of the longest episode of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prahalad Maharaj offers some longest prayers in 7th canto, I think 40 plus. Here also about 40 prayers of Brahma. We see in the 10th canto, 14th chapter. This 13th chapter that we have discussed so far is the last chapter that His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada has translated. Then 14th chapter, Brahma's prayers. Brahma says, Naumidhyate bravapushe taditambaraya gunjavatam saparipichhala sanmukhaya Vanyasraje kavalavetra vishana venu lakshmashriye mridupade pashupangajaya. Naumi idyate. O Lord, I am offering my respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet. Idyate, they are worshipable. Naumi idyate abravapushe. Your bodily complexion is like that of monsoon cloud. Abravapushe. Monsoon season gives us a special opportunity to enhance our Krishna consciousness. Wherever we see, the sky is overcast with monsoon clouds. And the complexion of that cloud is the complexion of Krishna. Means in monsoon we see Krishna everywhere, all pervading. Of course, in other seasons also we can become Krishna conscious, but monsoon is special. And on top of it, in monsoon only Krishna made his appearance also. Monsoon clouds are everywhere, and in monsoon Janmashtami is there. So, Abravapushe, Krishna's bodily complexion is like that of a dark monsoon cloud. Naumidhyate abravapushe taditambaraya. Tadit ambaraya. His cloth is like lightning. Gunjavatam saparipichhala sanmukhaya. He wears a gunjamala. Paripichhala sanmukhaya. His hair, his head is resplendent with a beautiful peacock feather which is like a rainbow. Yesterday evening, Nityananda Prabhu was showing us rainbow. There was a rainbow here. Have you seen others? We saw from the ashram terrace. So the peacock feather is like a rainbow. Krishna's body is like that of monsoon cloud. His dhoti is like lightning, and his peacock feather is like rainbow. There is monsoon season in Krishna only. When Krishna is moving, monsoon season is moving. And what are the rains? Krishna's loving glances are rains. Krishna's sweet smiles are rains. So Krishna is like monsoon personified in one sense. Naumidhyate bravapushe taditambaraya gunjavatam saparipichhala sanmukhaya Vanyasraje kavalavetra vishana vedu lakshmashriye murdupade pashupangajaya. Vanyasraje. Krishna wears a beautiful garland made of forest flowers, of multiple flowers, multiple colors and fragrances. Not the flowers kept in freeze for 10 days, but fresh flowers. Vanyasraje kavala vetra, with little curd-rice in his hand, with a little stick, which is meant to control the cows, which Krishna never uses. Vetra. Vishana venu, a flute. One Lakshmashriye, this little cowhead boy form of Krishna, which is so simple, so sweet, so innocent. This is the abode of all opulences. This is the source of all opulences. Lakshmashriye, mridupade. Krishna doesn't even wear shoes. His feet are directly touching the ground in Vrindavan. Pashupangajaya. Pashupa means the cowhead man, Vasudev. Pashupa Angajaya. Krishna took birth as the son of Nanda Maharaj. This establishes Nanda Maharaj's position superior to the position of Vasudeva as Krishna's father. Vrindavan is a place where all the toppers of all rasas exist. Just like in a best university, all the toppers of all streams of engineering go there in some universities. Similarly, all the toppers of all rasas, whether it is Vatsalya rasa or Dasya rasa or Madhurya rasa, they all exist in Vrindavan. So Brahma offered so many prayers. We will not be able to discuss all the prayers, but I will discuss some prayers here and there. Next, Brahma says, Jnane prayasa mutapasya namanta eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartaha sthane sthitaha shrutigatam tanuvan manobhir ye prayaso jita jitopyasitaistrī lokyam.
I discussed first prayer, this is third prayer. He says, Jnane prayasa mudapasya. Just give up your speculative endeavors to cultivate knowledge. Namanta eva, offer obeisances. To whom? To devotees of Krishna. Jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartaha. Please offer obeisances to devotees of Krishna who beautifully narrate your vartas, your topics. Those who are narrating Krishna's topics are the most benevolent benefactors of the entire creation, as the gopis of Vrindavan have acknowledged. Gopis of Vrindavan, right in the middle of Gopi Gita, middle of Rasa Panchadhyay, they are saying, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Whoever is discussing Krishna Kathamrit is the most benevolent benefactor, Bhurida Jana. So here Brahma is saying, surrender unto such people who are discussing Krishna Katha. Jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartaha. Those who are discussing Krishna's topics create great welfare for people, common people, and you need to hear them, Brahma says. Jnane prayasa, give up your speculative endeavors to cultivate philosophical knowledge. Surrender to devotees who are discussing Krishna Katha. Jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartha sthane sthitaha. You please continue to be there in whatever position you are in. You don't have to change your external social position. Prabhupada says, unless you are a butler or a butcher, you don't have to change your profession. Sthane sthitaha. But Shrutigatam tanuvan manobhir. Shrutigatam, please dedicate your body, mind and words to the teachings that you have acquired by Shrutigatam. You hear Harikatha and you mold your life according to the teachings of the scriptures coming from devotees. Shrutigatam tanuvan manobhir. Ye prayaso jita jitopyasita istri lokyam. When you do so, you can conquer the Supreme Lord who is unconquerable in the entire world, in the entire universe. Then Brahma moves ahead. Let's go to the 8th shloka directly. We are jumping. 1, 2, 3, 3 to 8. 8th shloka he says, Tatenu kampam susavikshabano bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam hridvagva purbhir vidadhan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhak. I think I will not explain this. We'll go to the next one. 14th shloka. Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam. This is also philosophical. We'll directly go to the end of Brahma's prayers and discuss Brahma's repentance. How repentant Brahma was. Brahma underestimated the greatness of Vrindavan pastimes of Krishna, Vrajavasis, cowhead boyfriends of Krishna, and he thought of himself qualified to even steal them. Take them away from Krishna's vicinity. He offended Vrajavasis, he offended Vrindavan, he offended Krishna, and he is feeling guilty now. He said, now I understood the glory of Vrajavasis. Krishna. Aho bhagyam nanda gopa vrajaukasam yanmitram paramanandam purnam brahma sanatanam. Aho bhagyam, what great fortune. Aho bhagyam, what great fortune. He's saying it twice in a small anushtup chanda shloka within one line only. Aho bhagyam nanda gopa vrajaukasam. All the Vrajavasis headed by Nanda Maharaj are extremely fortunate. Why? Yanmitram paramanandam Purnam Brahma Sanatanam. Because that supreme absolute truth, he is acting as their friend, intimate associate, and they are not even acknowledging that he is supreme absolute truth. They are only thinking that he is their friend. Actually, when Brahma was proud of his position, his identity as the creator of this universe, he could not understand the glory of Vrindavan. But now, when Brahma became very humble, and that humility came out of humiliation, because of humiliation, Brahma became humble. In such a humble state of existence, only Brahma could understand the glories of Vrindavan. That yatra naisarga durvairaha sahasan mrgadayaha mitrani iva ajita vasa dhritarut darshanadikam. In this Vrindavan land, there is no hunger, there is no thirst. Durvairaha saha asan. Although naturally inimical towards each other, some animals and human beings are staying together because this is Ajita Avasa. Ajita Avasa means the residence of the Supreme Lord. Krishna's abode, a place where Krishna stays. In such a place, there is no possibility of envy. Even cruel animals and simple human beings stay together like friends. What to speak of devotees staying like friends? We may have some difference of opinion with another devotee. We may have different style of functioning compared to another devotee. If there is some grudge or envy towards that devotee while staying in Krishna's place, we are totally in a incompatible mood. Krishna's place means no vaira. Yatra naisarga durvairaha saha asan. Although there is natural enmity between two parties, there is supposed to be natural enmity between two parties, they are saha asan, they stay together with love, with affection. Right? So, although there is some natural incompatibility, still devotees stay together, and that's what the Lord's abode is. Lord's abode is a place where people of different varieties also stay together. Saha avasan. Sahavasan. No durvaira, no enmity, no envy. There may be differences in nature, but they stay together. That is the definition of Vrindavan, given in this Brahma Vimohana Lila. And Brahma could understand this finally. In a proud state of consciousness, Brahma could not understand the glory of Vrindavan. In such a humble state of consciousness, he could clearly understand how glorious Vrindavan is. And he is appreciating Vrindavan. And he is aspiring to become dust at the lotus feet of Vrindavan, a creeper or a shrub at the lotus feet of Vrindavan. Ahoti dhanya vrajagoramanyaha. He says that all these gopis of Vrindavan, motherly gopis, are so fortunate. Stanyamritam means you are drinking the nectarian milk coming from their bodies with your mouth. Krishna, how glorious they are. For 1 full year, Krishna was drinking the milk of all the Vatsalya gopis. How glorious they are. Ahoti dhanya, vraja goramanya. Krishna is drinking the milk of the cows also in the form of their calves. How glorious they are. Now I understood. Even little simple cows and cowhead boys and cowhead ladies of this Vrindavan are so fortunate. I am nowhere close to them. I only aspire to become a shrub or a blade of grass in Vrindavan so that I can get their dust. Something similar to Uddhava's prayer. This is what Brahma is saying. When there is pride, when there is arrogance, when we overly identify with our power or position or privileges, we can never understand Vrindavan, we can never enter Vrindavan. Although we are physically in Vrindavan, we can never enter the spirit of Vrindavan. Only Vrindavan is understood and accessible and relishable and visible only in a humble state of consciousness, as Brahma Vimohana Lila is reminding us. Now, in such a humble state of mind, Brahma offered so many prayers. There are many other prayers. But Krishna did not speak a single word. He did not speak a single word. He's grave. He's hearing all that. He heard all the prayers, by the way, but he did not respond. He did not speak. Brahma thought, looks like Krishna is thinking that I am not qualified to become even a blade of grass in Vrindavan. Out of excitement, out of my repentance, I requested Krishna, Krishna, please make me a blade of grass or a shrub in Vrindavan so that I can get the dust from the lotus feet of Rajavasis. But Krishna feels that I am not qualified even for that privilege also. I think I should not be here. Let me go back. Krishna expects me to go back and continue my creation services. Means, becoming a blade of grass in Vrindavan is a higher position than being the creator of the universe. Brahma realized it. He went back to Brahma's abode. I am not qualified for this. But still, even after entering Brahmaloka, Brahma's repentance continued. Brahma's guilt continued. He's feeling so humiliated and embarrassed and ashamed. With that shame and guilt and repentance in the mind, in the heart, Brahma left Brahmaloka. He came to a place called Antardvipa. And at Antardvipa, Brahma started performing severe austerities with guilt and with devotion, with humility in the heart. At Antardvipa, Brahma was meditating for a long, long time. Then Lord Vishnu appeared, Lord Krishna appeared in front of him in the form of golden Gauranga and said, Brahma, I am very pleased with your meditation, with your austerities, with your prayers, with your humility. So far, you are a creator of this universe. Prajapati nam abhivanditah pati. Even great Prajapatis and Devatas also come and surrender unto you, offer obeisances to you. Within one day of Brahma, the universal government, universal administrative system changes 14 times. 14 Indras come in one day of Brahma. 14 sets of Saptarishis come in one day of Brahma. 14 sets of Devatas come. Thousands of them, hundreds of them, millions of them, they come in one day of Brahma. Like that, Brahma lives for 100 years. Each year has 360 days. Can you just imagine power of Brahma's position? So Krishna said, you are so proud of your position. You have such a high social status. So many people are your fans, your followers. They are falling at your feet. Prajapatinam abhivanditah pati. Because of receiving obeisances and respect from so many people, you are overly identifying with your social status. But in your next life, in my next incarnation as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you will be deprived of all that social status. You will be born in a Yavana Amlecha family. You will be called Srila Haridas Thakur. When you are deprived of all this social status, in such a humble state of existence, you will be able to chant my holy names. You will be able to chant the holy names of Krishna. Then you will become Namacharya. When Brahma became Haridas Thakur, Mahaprabhu is very pleased with Haridas Thakur. When Brahma remained as Brahma, identifying himself as the creator, then Krishna is not very happy with him because he was proud, slightly. And by the way, Brahma's pride is not like Indra's pride. Indra's pride is purely material, but Acharyas say that Brahma's pride is inspired by Yogamaya and we should not offend Brahma. Although we may discuss Brahma Vimohana Lila and so many lessons as highlighted by the Acharyas, Brahma Vimohana Lila is not a license for us to offend Brahma. It's not a license for us to disrespect or demean Brahma. That will be another Vaishnava aparat for us. We respect Brahma, we worship Brahma, we offer obeisances to Brahma. And most important thing is the transformation. He wanted to become a blade of grass. I wanted to give up my position as Brahma and I will become a blade of grass. We may chant Trinadapi Sunichena every day. But if you go to Vrindavan, sit on the floor, right, somewhere at Govardhan foothills. Below you, there is a little blade of grass, right? Just meditate on it for a moment. Do I really want to become like this? In Vrindavan, do I really want to become like this blade of grass? Prabhupada says, don't just become a blade of grass, become a straw on the street. Become humbler than a straw on the street. Do I really aspire to become a straw on the street in Vrindavan now, when we go there? Even to develop an aspiration like Brahma's aspiration itself is very far from a conditioned soul, average conditioned soul. We may say, at least I will become a Gopa or a Gopi, if not, right? But definitely not a blade of grass or a straw on the street in Vrindavan. But Brahma is so humble that he wants to become a blade of grass. If he cannot aspire like Brahma to become a blade of grass in Vrindavan, then we understand we have a long way to go. When we genuinely aspire to become a blade of grass of Vrindavan, consider ourselves so insignificant, then we have understood what bhakti is. Right? We may do big services, but aspiration should be a blade of grass in Vrindavan or lower than that to get the dust from the Vrajavasis. Then we have understood what bhakti is, because Brahma understood. Even then Krishna is not pleased. Brahma had to go through one more episode of so many austerities and tapasya meditation at Andardvip. Then then Krishna said, yes, no problem. Become Haridas Thakur now. You'll be very intimate associate. These are some thoughts, some lessons from the Brahma Vimohana Lila. I wish everyone a happy and Krishna conscious Janmashtami, and I seek your blessings so that I am in right spirits this Janmashtami. Thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.